IvyLearn Function Junction. This is a short, task-oriented webinar tutorial. My name is Kathy Long, and I'm the Senior Training Specialist for the Ivy Tech Community College Center for Instructional Technology. Joining me today, facilitating the question box, is Dr. Kara Monroe. So we will be answering questions throughout the presentation and also in the question box. So feel free to ask questions at any time. I also wanted to point out to you that we will be giving you different types of instructions today and different web links. You can go to the GoToWebinar control panel, select handouts, and you can use that as a reference sheet. Just click on that handout and you can keep that for future reference. Today we're going to talk about how to log in to IvyLearn. We're going to explore the IvyLearn interface, and we're also going to set up our user profile. So as of this morning, everyone should be able to log into the IvyLearn environment and get started. So how do we log in? We're going to go to ivylearn.ivytech.edu. ivylearn.ivytech.edu. You're going to be prompted to put in a username and password. These are the same credentials that you use when you log into My Ivy, which is formerly known as Campus Connect. Please make sure that you're entering your whole Ivy Tech email account. So jdoe@ivytech.edu. Once you've entered in your username and password, you're going to click the Sign In button. By default, the IvyLearn platform will open up to this global navigational interface. It'll open up to the dashboard. The dashboard area is where you can access your courses and you can see the most frequently added content and to-do list and calendar activities. So the interface is actually divided into three different areas. On the left-hand side, you see the global navigation menu. These icons will allow you to click on those and move from one content area to the other. The center part of the screen, in this case, is called the dashboard, and it's also called the content area, depending on where you are in the IvyLearn platform. On the right-hand side of the page, this is called the sidebar, and in this case, it displays the activity stream. So you'll see a to-do list, things that are oriented to the calendar, so upcoming events. You'll see feedback, you'll see announcements, and all the most recent activity in all of your courses. This view is available to you as a faculty member and also to students. Let's take a brief overview at what the global navigation menu looks like. So it's a series of buttons on the left-hand side of the page. We're going to click from one icon to the other. In just a few minutes, we'll go into the live demonstration and the live platform of IvyLearn, and we'll click around in there as well. At the top of the global menu, you'll have your account button. The account button contains a user's profile, notification settings, files, and also access to your ePortfolio area. We've already talked about the dashboard just a little bit, so we're going to move right down to the courses area. The courses area is a list of all the courses that you're currently enrolled in the IvyLearn platform. This includes courses that you're teaching and courses that you may be taking as a student. Students also have this button so they can see a complete list of the classes that they're enrolled in. The next area is the groups area. And Groups is a tool that helps instructors kind of separate students into smaller course units that allows them to interact to complete tasks and learning activities. You won't necessarily see groups on your global navigation menu until you've actually been assigned a course with multiple students in it. The next area is the calendar, and the calendar is a very robust tool in IvyLearn, and I think you're really going to like it. But the calendar is a communication tool, and it shows all the events and assignments for all the courses and groups. Students can set up their own personal calendar as well as see all of the courses that they're enrolled in. This is true for both faculty and students. The next area is called the inbox. And this is where we can use conversations, which is a new vocabulary word that we use in the IvyLearn platform. And this allows us to message and interact with our students. Communication is done a little bit different in the IvyLearn platform. And in the future, we'll be doing very dedicated webinar series on how to communicate using the inbox and notifications in the IvyLearn platform. The next item on the global menu is called the Commons. The Commons is a learning object repository. This is available to faculty members, and this allows you to find, import, and share resources. Very powerful tool, and also something that we will do extensive training on in the future. And then the final button on the global navigational toolbar is the Help button. Okay, and the Help button just allows you to get easy access to resources, how-to guides, how to submit a help desk ticket, and we'll look at that also in our live environment. So again, when we log into IvyLearn for the first time, it opens up to the dashboard. And this dashboard area, or the content area on our global interface, contains course cards. These course cards are color-coded and corresponds with items on the calendar. These course cards are a list of the courses that you're currently taking. This is also the same view that students have. Each course card can have a series of 4 icons along the bottom of the color block. Those icons appear if you have announcements, assignments, discussions, or files posted within your course. You can automatically see up to 20 courses in this view. And finally, we have the sidebar. And in this particular view, by default, we open up to that dashboard page. And this contains, again, a to-do list and an activity stream. This is related to the calendar, any announcements that the instructor may have placed, any student communications that have been sent to you, things that need to be graded, all appear on this to-do list in the activity stream, also noted as the sidebar. All right, so far we've learned how to access IvyLearn. So let me just do a quick test your knowledge. And you tell me which one of these addresses do you use to access IvyLearn? Okay. Right, so you're absolutely correct. To access IvyLearn, we go to ivylearn.ivytech.edu. And as you know, you're going to enter in your same credentials that you use when you're using My Ivy, or which formerly was known as Campus Connect. I'll go ahead and close out that little poll. And what you should be seeing now is the live version of IvyLearn. So remember, by default, once we log in and enter our credentials, we open up to the dashboard page. So on the left-hand side, if you'll remember, this is called, you're welcome to play along in the question box, this is called the Global Navigation Menu. Okay, so this is located on the left-hand side of the page. This major area of content is called the content area, and in this case, our dashboard. And if you'll remember, the dashboard has these course cards that indicate the courses that we're enrolled in. As a new user to IvyLearn, you should see a sandbox shell. So it should say sandbox shell for, and then it would have your name. So in this case, sandbox shell for Kathy Long. And I'm so excited, I'm doing the happy dance here in my course. Yay! Okay. Up here in the right-hand corner, you can actually toggle from this course card view to an activity stream view. So let me click this toggle, and you'll now see all of my recent activity. There has recently been 5 announcements in this particular course. There's conversations and messages. There's assignment notifications and discussions. IvyLearn does a great job of keeping you organized and just-in-time information. So I'm going to toggle back using my toggle up here in the right-hand corner to see now my course card view. Over here on the far right-hand side of the page, this is called the sidebar, and this can contain different types of information depending on what navigation area you're into. So right now, this is my to-do list or my activity stream. So you'll see that I have homework due in my DBMS 120 class. And if I scroll down just a little bit more, you'll see that I have coming up events on my calendar. I can also view this in the calendar as well. And I can also see recent feedback. So I'm enrolled as a student in this DBMS class, and if I had turned in an assignment and my instructor had given me feedback, as a student, I could see that under my recent feedback section. I can personalize this as a student or a faculty member, so I know that I have to turn in my homework assignment, and I'm just going to click this little X, and that makes it disappear from my task stream. Okay? It doesn't mean it deletes it from the actual course, but it means that I've read that and I no longer need to see that information. All right. So now we know how to log in. We know this is in the global navigation toolbar that we have a global navigation menu on the left. We have a content area in the middle. In this particular case, by default, it always opens up to the dashboard. And then over here on our sidebar, there's always information with activities and sometimes different options for you to use within a particular area. To navigate again through this course navigation menu, we just simply click from one area to the other. So if I just click on calendar, you'll see that it brings up my calendar view. Okay, so let's get to our final task for today. We're going to set up our user profile. And to do that, we're going to go up to our account icon in the upper right-hand corner. I click on account, and it gives me several different choices. So you'll notice that this is where I also log out of the system. I can access my profile, settings, I can set my notification preferences, I can add my global files here, and I can also access ePortfolios. For today's presentation, we're going to go into our profile area. When I click profile, you'll see I still have my account settings over here on the left-hand side. So this is kind of what we would call our course or content menu. Here's the content area. And then over here on the far right-hand side of the page, there's 3 little dots. Okay, and these 3 little dots, or this icon, indicates that there's more information located under this button or icon. So we're going to click on that icon. And I'll have the opportunity to edit my profile. So I click Edit Profile, and you'll notice that my page has changed, and now it becomes an editable document. This is where you can add your biography. It prompts you. You just simply place your cursor and type in your message. And you can also add links. So for example, IvyLearn information page is what I have linked to my profile, and I also have a link to our statewide training events. You can add any links that are academic related. You want to make sure that you are promoting things that enhance your academic learning environment. Once I've made these changes, I simply add Save Profile. So pretty straightforward. So again, I'm in my Account button. I select Profile. I'm prompted to enter in my biography and add additional links. And I do that by going over here to the far right-hand side to this little icon that has 3 dots and click Edit Profile. I can also change my picture. So when you're a first-time user, when you log in for the first time, this is probably just going to be a generic avatar. And if I want to change my picture, when I place my cursor over the image, a little pencil shows up, and that means to edit. So I click that, and I now can upload a picture from my storage device. And to do that, I simply click Choose a Picture. And I can search my storage device or my computer. I find my image, I select it, and I click Open. And then I have this circle that allows me to frame the picture how I want to see it. And I simply click Save. And I've now changed my profile picture to a koala bear. Once I've been making my changes to my profile settings, I scroll down to the bottom of the page, and I can click Save Profile. All right. I can also use a webcam to add a picture. When I click on the picture, and again, I've just placed my cursor over the picture, and that little pencil icon shows up. I click on that, and I can actually select Take a Picture. And this opens up my webcam. So hello. I just simply click the Take Picture, and I click Save. And you see now that I've used my webcam to snap a quick picture for my profile picture. Pretty straightforward and easy stuff to do. All right, so let's test your knowledge really quickly. And let's see. By default, IvyLearn opens up to which page? Is it the dashboard? Is it the calendar? Is it notifications? Give you just a few more seconds to vote. All right, 91% have voted. I'm just going to give you another few minutes. Okay, well, good job. So if you selected the dashboard, you're absolutely correct. By default, when you log into IvyLearn for the first time, and every time actually, it opens up to this dashboard page. For those of you who said it opens up to courses, it's a little bit tricky. That was kind of a trick question. It kind of does, because the dashboard does include links to the courses that you're taking and the courses that you're teaching. Okay. There's also a Courses button, if you'll remember, on the Global Navigation menu. And if I click Courses, it gives me a different view. It gives me a list of the courses by name. Okay. But the dashboard does give us that link by default to these course cards. So good job. Let's see. Let's test our knowledge. I have a couple more questions for you. You guys are doing great. All right. So this one is how many major components are part of the global interface? Is it 2, the toolbar and calendar? Are there 4 parts, the toolbar, the calendar, settings, and content? Or is it the global navigation toolbar, the content area, such as the dashboard, and also the sidebar? You guys are really doing great. Okay, just a few more seconds. About 80% of you have voted. I want to give everyone a chance to participate. Okay, good job. So if you said 3, you are correct. The global navigation toolbar or navigation interface has 3 major components. And again, that is the global menu, navigation tool menu on the left-hand side, our content area, which is here in the middle, and by default in this example is our dashboard area. And then on the far right-hand side, we have our sidebar, which in the dashboard contains our activity stream. When you go from content area to content area, so for example, if I go into my calendar, for example, my global navigation menu always stays the same, and then I have this content area in the middle, which gives my view of the calendar, and I can change that by week, month, agenda, okay? And then over here on the right-hand side, we still have that sidebar, but instead of having our task stream, we have a shortcut to our different types of calendars that we have accessible to us, and also can flip from one month to the other. You guys are doing great. We have just a few more minutes. I want to try to end by 12:30, so I want to give you a little bonus information. So if we go up here to our account, and we know we've set up our profile, but we can also do some fun stuff with our settings. So when I click on settings, by default, a lot of this information is already set up for you. So my name as it appears in the Ivy Tech banner system comes across here. I can also see that my language is English, and I can also see my time zone here. Okay. There's some different web services. I can add my Twitter link, I can add my Skype link and my LinkedIn. So there's some services, some social media icons that I can add to my profile. You'll see that I've also got some, hang on. You'll see that I've also got some third-party content that I have access to. And down here at the bottom of the page, there's this area called high contrast. And when you click on high contrast, if you have difficulty reading or seeing shades of color, when you click on high contrast, this kind of turns everything into a black and white version. So when I click that and turn that on, and I go into a different, I'll just go ahead and go back to my dashboard, what happens is that everything kind of turns black and white. The contrast gets a little bit more extreme. And if you notice, my global navigational toolbar loses my theme. So my Ivy Tech logo has disappeared. Okay, but it does help with visibility. I go back into my account settings. I'm going to click settings again, because the cherry on top of our sundae today is the ability to change our time zone. Okay, and this time zone is set for your personal calendar and your personal settings, and students can do this too. So for our friends who are teaching in the northern and southern extremes part of the state, you can actually change your time zone to reflect where you live. Excuse me, just one second. Okay, excuse me, had a dry tickle in my throat. So I can change the time zone to reflect where I live, and then all of my calendar events appear to me in a time that allows me to meet my deadlines without having to do a lot of different calculations. So kind of a fun and kind of an exciting tip for those of you that live in the northern and southern extremes of the state. Okay, so we have covered a lot of information in a short period of time. Our Function Junction webinars are really brief, task-oriented video tutorials to help you get started. So I encourage you to log in today and get started for the first time. You should have your sandbox shell that allows you to log in and to play around. We also have that handout for you on the GoToWebinar control panel. And I would just encourage you to download that and keep that handy. Okay, and my last test your knowledge poll for today is regarding how to set up your account and your profile. Okay. All right. Just a few more seconds. About 80% of you have voted. And you are correct. Boy, you guys are doing a great job today. That's absolutely true. That is exactly how you set up your user profile. So let's go ahead and close that out. We've had some great questions in the dashboard, or excuse me, in the question box, saying that I can't see my course in the dashboard. So where is it located? So if I click on the Courses button, I can actually select my course here. As well. I can also see all courses. Okay, and when I click all courses, when I highlight it and I give it a star, it will actually move it back to the dashboard. So if it disappears from the dashboard for any reason, that's what has happened. So you'll notice what I've just done is I've renegotiated what I see on my dashboard. And because I only highlighted the star for my super user organization, that's the only thing that's appearing. So I've just lost the 5 or 6 courses that I was taking. So let me walk you through that one more time. So if you're not seeing in your dashboard your sandbox, for example, we're going to go to the global navigational menu and we're going to click Courses. I'm going to select all courses, and my content opens up and it will tell me the course name, how I'm enrolled in that course, and then also if it's been published. And when it says published, that means available for student view. When I click the little star, you'll see that it changes color. Okay. And now when I go back to my dashboard, my courses now appear on the dashboard again. That's the way that you can customize your dashboard view. Okay. All right. So you guys have done a great job today. We went through a lot of different information. We've learned how to log in. We've learned how to navigate the global interface. We've also learned how to set up our user profile. I'd like to thank you for attending today. We will be doing a more in-depth 60-minute webinar next week called How to Navigate the Global Navigational Toolbar. We'll go into a little bit more detail next week about how each one of those icons on the dashboard actually works and the functionality of that. And then next Friday, we do have our next episode of Function Junction. And again, that's a 30-minute or less task-oriented video series that you're welcome to attend. Again, thank you for your time, and thank you for learning more about our IvyLearn platform.